Ryan, I need help with entering my grades into Skyward. The slideshow that you sent and this 2-page list of steps is really confusing.
All right, I'll tell you what. Why don't I show you, I'll log into Skyward, and we'll record this screencast so that you can look at it later.
Right, that would be great.
Okay, so what I want to do is go over a few things. First, I'll show you a report that I do, and it allows me to clearly see how a kid is doing, like all the data I've collected in Skyward. Makes it a little easier for me. Okay. And then I'll show you how to enter into your advisory comments, and then your class comments and your made indicators.
Okay, that would be great.
And then Alan obviously wants us to check everything, make sure it's all good, and we'll look at a report from there.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is show you the report that I like to use. And I'll go to my gradebook and go to the class I want to run a report on. The report that I like to see is under Reports, and it's this one here, Progress Detailed Report.
Progress Detail, got it.
And just print it, it'll run.
All right.
Okay, display report. This is what I like about this report.
Okay.
Notice concepts and procedures, problem solving and modeling, reasoning and communication are all my math standards. It shows all the assignments in the order which I've given them and any notes that I've made for that assignment. And you'll notice that sometimes like sequence quiz was listed 3 times because I covered all 3 standards.
Okay, and the other ones weren't because they're perhaps not on the
Some were like IXL Exponent Practice was definitely concepts, procedures, but not in the others.
Okay, gotcha.
And then you can just look over here and see if there's any patterns.
Okay. All right.
So the next one would be, okay, so always keep in mind you need to put in your comments and then the made indicators.
Yep.
And there's 2 different places for that. So I'll show you the advisory first. So in the advisory, you want to use these boxes here. The shaded, non-shaded, whatever this is, to enter in your learning habits.
Okay.
And those are right here. If you forget what the learning habits are, click on grade marks.
Okay.
Now, go back to gradebook. The big thing for advisory is going to be your comments.
Yeah.
And in comments, go to the current trimester, click on post comments. So you're going to need to fill in all of these. The student reflection, the activities they're involved in, the trimester overview, and your feedback for that student. And what I do is I use a Google form, and I collect that information from the kids.
Okay. So you do that before you need to enter that, maybe a week or 2 before? Yeah.
Yeah, about the week before. So I take that form from that the kids filled in, and then I will just cut and paste. Student reflection goes here, the activities that they're involved in, and then typically the 8th grade teachers write 1 paragraph about what we've been covering in advisory. So you just have to paste that here, and then instead of pasting it over and over and over again, you can just click this button here and click on Apply to All.
Okay, and that's just for the trimester overview?
Yeah, it just fills just that one in.
Okay, great.
And then I cut and paste my teacher feedback for each kid. And then make sure you hit save. Okay, that should cover it for advisory.
Okay.
So the next one is your class. So back to the grade book, go to the classroom and enter your grades. And again, we need to put in comments, and we need to put in the made indicators.
All right.
Okay. So let's start with comments. Okay, post comments. And 2 things you're going to do. Your trimester overview, and again, that's going to be the same for every student.
Okay.
So I have that typed up in a document. I just copy and paste it in here, and then using this, apply to all again.
Right.
And then you can paste your teacher feedback here. Click Save. Now the next thing, and this is pretty neat, since we've been using the standards-based gradebook, check this out. So let's say I want to put in this standard here. Look at that, the gradebook shows up.
Okay.
So these are all my assignments that I've given so far, and I can just look across and decide how that student's doing.
All right. That's pretty cool.
These red corners mean that I've left a comment there. If you hover over it, then it tells you what it is.
All right.
So no more looking back and forth between different screens and different
having
programs.
several tabs open.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Okay. And then save your work.
All right.
Now once you have everything in, the last thing you need to do is run the reports and check that everything looks good. And here's how you do that. It's not under reports. What you have to do is go back to your teacher access, go to my classes,
All right.
and then you're going to go to each one of these and run a report. So my first one's going to be advisory. You're going to go over here to reports, and then you want to use this custom report card. And then you're going to select the appropriate report for that class. So that was my advisory. So what I need to do is find, it's currently the trimester 1, and I want to go to advisory. There it is.
Right.
And then report for all students. And that's going to run the report, and then you can go through and check, make sure everything's good on your advisory. Make sure you didn't forget anything.
Yeah.
One thing to look out for is if you've used too many characters and it doesn't fit in the box, this is definitely where you're going to see that.
Okay.
The next thing that you would need to do is run the report for each one of your classes. So again, go to my classes, go to class options. So this is a math class. So what's going to change is I'm still going to go to reports, still going to go to custom report card, but I'm going to change this to math.
Okay.
And then report for all students.
Right. And it'll run that off.
Yep. Once you're done with that, congratulations, you're done.
All right. That's good. That's a lot easier to understand. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.